Joining me now, dear friend Kellyanne Conway, former counselor to President Trump, host of Here's the Deal with Kellyanne right here on Fox Nation. Kellyanne, welcome. Kellyanne, I'm going to read you. This is our dear friend Karl Rove writing in the Wall Street Journal regarding the debate, a catastrophic debate for Trump. A catastrophic debate for Trump. And he names all kinds of reasons for that. I'm sure you read it. What do you make of that? What do you think? Has Karl got it right or wrong?
I think that the whole campaign is catastrophic for Kamala Harris in this way. Larry, she is staying generic where people want granular. She thinks she's funny where people who are literally starving and struggling are trying to get facts and figures. And Byron York is right, that if she doesn't get specific, then she can't undo what most economic-centric voters think of her, which is she is part of what's wrong in Washington, spending money we don't have on things we don't need and didn't quite ask for, being all over the map when it comes to taxation, regulation, legislation. I disagree with the framing that are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Of course, that's Reagan's famous question to Jimmy Carter. It worked in 1980. The reason it doesn't work as well now, Larry, is 4 years ago, people were home, the kids were out of school, the stores were closed, everybody was masked up. The framing is, do you want Trump 2019 or Kamala Harris 2019? In 2019, that's when Trump's roaring economy was really taking off, and he had an excellent NEC director in Larry Kudlow helping him do that. The stuff that Trump is promising at the New York Economic Club last week is the stuff that he did over the course of his first term. And if you go back and look at Trump 2019, that's when this country was rocking and rolling. Lowest unemployment numbers among some key cohorts that now are supporting him at higher levels than the Republicans have seen in a while. The African Americans, Hispanic voters, young people. And then again, of course, we had low interest rates, low unemployment, high consumer confidence, high confidence among small business owners. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act from 2017 had really taken hold, and our corporations that went from the highest in the OECD to lower than the average in the OECD through that corporate tax cut were investing in their employees, in benefits, in innovation, in research and development, in their consumers. So I think this is important because 2019 is when Kamala Harris, the real Kamala Harris, stood up. She ran for president on her own. And she was for Green New Deal and Medicare for all. And she was Bernie Sanders without the charm and Elizabeth Warren without the eloquence. Now, catastrophic, game-changing, ending, that's all Armageddon kind of conversation. I think that there were opportunities where President Trump could have turned to Kamala Harris and done what he does all the time out in the stump, which is, you've been there for 3.5 years. It's what he said at the end that I think is most important to Americans.
Yeah, no, that was
What have
key.
You done for me lately, lady?
Right.
You've been there for 3.5 years. Hey, Larry, if she's got a plan, let's see it now. Call in the 25th Amendment. Go be the president. Go do your plan now.
Well, look at one of the things Karl cites in his article, A Catastrophic Debate for Trump. Karl says that Trump didn't link her to Biden. Now, let me just play a very quick clip that happened early on in the debate where he does link her to Biden. Here it comes.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just, oh, we'll try and lower taxes. She doesn't have a plan. And remember this, she is Biden.
So, Kellyanne, I agree. Look, I think we all agree.
Yeah. Mr.
Trump missed some opportunities. But that's as plain as can be. What we just played, which really happened at the top, she couldn't answer are you better off than you were 4 years ago? It was really a lot of word salad stuff. Spend more money, $2 trillion, guaranteed annual incomes, and business deductions that we don't even need because the Trump tax cut plan already has them. But Trump linked her to Biden and the failures. And as you say,
yes,
at the end of the debate, I mean, it was a haymaker. He just said, hey, harp right on that. 3.5 years, you had your chance to do it. So I'm prepared to say, yeah, some missed opportunities, okay, but I don't think my friend and yours, Karl Rove, is right. I don't think it's a catastrophe, and I'm looking at polls this morning that say it's not a catastrophe, including the pay-to-play betting polls that basically say they're still even where they were before.
Sure, Larry, we probably stepped in our lead here. This is Donald Trump's race to lose. The fundamentals still favor him. What are the fundamentals? The fundamentals aren't just money. She's got plenty of that. It's actually message and messenger. If the messenger is not credible and believable, if you're not completely sure of who that is, 30% in that New York Times Siena poll over the weekend said that they need to know more about her. 18% said they need to know more about Donald Trump. There's nothing else to know about Donald Trump. We've plowed all that ground. You're not going to listen. She's talking about Donald Trump's convictions, and we all want to know. We want people to talk about our convictions. Our convictions is that we want to feel secure and safe and prosperous. This nonsense about a Kamala Harris opportunity economy should not be trusted. Why? She's already there. There is no such thing. They've destroyed the economy with these electric vehicle mandates, with this out of control government spending, with the supply chain crisis. She needs to eat and own all the failings and flailings of the Biden-Harris White House. And I'll do you one more, Larry. I don't think we should mention Biden anymore, except to connect her to say they shivved him, they dumped him, we should too. This is the Harris economy, Harris border crisis. This is Harris with Iran, Harris Hamas, Harris in Ukraine. This is Harris, the uptick in crime and violence. This is Harris needing to account for those 13 families from Afghanistan to the victims of crime. The families are saying, what does she mean that crime is down? Not in our family where we lost a loved one. So she is the incumbent, not the insurgent. She is not the underdog. She is the person who wants us to believe we should have 4 to 8 more years of the same. Every single poll says it's not true. Look, the debate was more important to Kamala Harris than Donald Trump. She needed that debate because she doesn't exercise those muscles. We don't know anything about her. But, Larry, when that 3 a.m. call comes to the commander-in-chief, you don't have advisors around stuffing your head with clever sound bites and pablum. You don't have notes in front of you. You got to make crack decisions. And the worst thing a woman in power and authority could ever do is be wishy-washy, shape-shifting, flip-flopping, and opaque.
All right. I don't think she answered the question. I agree with you. I agree with Byron York. Kellyanne Conway, thank you, love. Appreciate it awfully much. Thanks again.